just hit record, so.
Oh, okay.
So I guess whoever's idea it was,
that's how we do it.
That's the person that starts it, right? Okay. Whenever you are ready.
I am ready. All right. Welcome to the aftermath of the incident that made the tower fall. There's like one person that's going to get that reference, and the rest of you are going to Google it.
It's not me.
Well, the rest of you are going to Google it.
I'm neither of those people, actually.
The rest of you are going to Google it. Actually, yeah, you're not, because you don't watch these after we put them up.
I watch them while I edit them.
On the real, though, episode 5, guys. This episode, we're talking about morals. I am your host, Jacob. To my right, I have nothing witty to say about you.
I am not your host.
He is the host, though, too.
Whoever leads is the host, so I'm the co-host.
Well, normally in podcasts, there's like a host, and then there's like an expert. But neither of us are really experts.
That's true. But I'm going to pretend like I am for the sake of the flow of the show.
You're the expert here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure.
And as all the guests often have, I have a pizza from our sponsors at Domino's. Thank you, Domino's, for supporting the show and intellectual discussion.
Yeah. Pizza plus garlic equals intellectual discussion.
Mm-hmm. All my most thoughtful discussion comes over pizza.
Mm-hmm. Can we actually start now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I said no chewing with your mouth full, dude. Or with your mouth open. Or no talking with your mouth open.
You said no chewing.
Okay, well, don't do that because it really bothers me.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to be talking about morality. Does morality matter, I think is the question. We like that alliteration, so we're going with that as our question. So, straight off the bat, I've got some questions for you to give a demonstration of what we're talking about.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a little game basically, but you may know what I'm referencing here, and if you do, just play along the way you need to play along.
Okay, I'll humor you.
Okay, humor me, thank you. Okay, do you think you're a good person?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're a good person?
Because I do good stuff.
Like what?
You know, like, there's a homeless guy on my way to work. Sometimes I throw him a burger.
Okay.
Like, literally, I toss it to him.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the burger? No, I'm just kidding. Have you ever lied?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever stolen anything?
Maybe.
Even something small?
Like a pen from work?
Like a pen from work?
Yeah.
I just, got you fired from your job. Ever said the Lord's name in vain?
I used it loosely, if that's what you mean.
Okay. Have you ever looked at a woman with lust?
Definitely.
And have you ever coveted someone else's possessions?
Every day.
Okay. So according to 5 of the 10 commandments, you are a liar, thief, blasphemer, adulterer, and coveter. You've angered God by these actions. Do you still think you're a good person?
Well, does it count if I watch Kirk Cameron YouTube videos?
There you go, you nailed it.
On YouTube?
No, that doesn't count.
It doesn't make me a good person?
No.
Okay.
So, do you still think you're a good person? No, right?
No, I feel horrible now.
Based on those standards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I brought that up is because there's a big argument of are they like within us from history or are they from God, and based on, do we live our lives based on the morals that God set for us or the morals that are already there? And that little thing, if you've ever seen it, I think it's called Way of the Master or something?
That's Kirk Cameron's TV show.
Yeah, something like that. That's kind of irrelevant. But the point is, they judge you based on the 10 Commandments, whether you're a good person or not, and they say basically nobody's a good person until they've accepted Jesus Christ because he was the only true good person, right?
That's exactly right, Jacob.
Is it?
That is the truth.
That's the truth?
That is the truth of the matter.
That's the idea.
No, that's just the truth.
That's it? Whole episode?
Yep.
Another one in the bag.
Later, guys. Time for pizza.
I want some of that pizza. Okay. Do you have anything to say on this? Like, before we start, because I know you studied. You said you read a certain book that we all know and love, but let's see if you actually...
I read my Bible this week, so that is the ultimate authority on all morality, so yeah. So technically, I'm more studied than you are this week.
That's true.
Because you didn't read your Bible.
That's true. That's true.
Is that true?
That's 100% true. Okay. Is that it? Are we good to go? To the next portion?
Yeah.
All right.
Did it.
The trolley problem.
My favorite.
You know what this is, right?
I do.
Okay.
I'd push him.
Okay. Well, let's explain for the viewers.
Okay.
Okay, so there are 5 people on a railroad track. You can pull a lever to divert the track to another track, right? You have, and it diverts, and there's 5 people going here. So you pull a lever to divert it, but there's 1 person on the other track. So either way, you're hitting 5 people or 1 person. Do you pull the lever?
Yeah, you kill the one guy. Well, first of all, you try to signal him. But then if you can't do that...
In the hypothetical scenario, it's impossible.
Right. And then if you can't do that, then yeah, you kill the one guy working on the track.
And why do you do that?
Just it's a simple numbers game.
But is morality, does it come down to that? Is it that simple? Is it because the issue here is that 1 person, they wouldn't have been killed otherwise.
Right. Yeah, okay. But those 5 people, they're gonna die now because I've chosen not to kill this one guy.
But they were gonna die anyways if you didn't happen to see the situation. Natural selection would have had them die anyways.
Yeah, but I'm naturally selecting to kill the other guy. To kill the one guy.
Okay. And you think that we're strictly talking numbers when it comes to lives?
Well, yeah, you have to.
So, in that situation, you would be directly responsible for killing the other person. Would you be happy with that?
Well, no, I wouldn't be happy with that. I'm not a sadist.
Okay, but
yeah, I would do it.
Right. And why would you do that?
Because it means less people die in that scenario.
Right. 1 person dying, and your feelings for the rest of your life of, oh, I directly or indirectly killed someone.
Right. But I had no choice.
It does not add up to the amount of 5 people. Okay.
Right.
Now you know the next part.
I chose the lesser of 2 evils, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Less people dying is less evil than more people dying.
Well, there's moral questions there, is the point. Okay, next scenario. 5 people on the track, and you're over the track on a bridge, and as you see the train coming, a really big fat guy walks by you. You have the ability to push this big fat guy off in the way of the train, stopping the train and preventing the 5 people from getting hit.
Right.
Do you do it?
Well, is the conductor going to divert the train tracks onto the other thing?
What do you mean?
Like, is the conductor going to move the train onto the other tracks and not...
Oh, in this scenario, there's only 1 track.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, I would just tell the conductor to stop the train.
Shut up, dude.
I mean, it's a flawed argument because you don't know whether or not the conductor sees the 5 people ahead of him. You don't know that he's going to run into them and he's not going to brake. So, like, I get the point of the scenario, but if you were just looking out, watching the situation, like, you don't have any moral responsibility. Like, it's not your responsibility what that train does at that point.
Right.
Because you're not in control of the train. You see what I'm saying?
But let's put in the scenario that you somehow know for a fact that this big fat guy would stop the train.
And I also know for a fact that the conductor doesn't see the 5 people working on the tracks as well.
Exactly.
And I also know that the 5 people on the tracks don't see the train coming at them.
If you know anything about trains, it's called the trolley problem, but I think it's more like, I don't know the difference between train and trolley.
Me neither.
I think a train is just like, trolleys are like what are used in Britain, right? And
Yeah, like the are they the ones that you just stand on, that you just like hop on and stand there and hold onto a pole?
Maybe. I think they're the ones that actually like go through streets and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more like a big bus.
Yeah. We're using a train because that makes more sense. So the train is coming at these 5 people. If you know anything about trains, a train can't just stop if it sees something in the way. It can try to stop as fast as it can, but it's not going to stop in time. It's going to kill those 5 people.
Well, a train can stop though. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but the conductor has no way to stop it in time of the 5 people.
Right, in this scenario, that's what we're saying, right?
Well, I mean, usually things within sight aren't like you aren't able to stop to things that you can see. Like you would have to have
right for the purpose of this argument.
A person. No, you would have to have someone call you up and be like, "Look, there's a rock in your way. That's like
a
big
mile,
boulder,
2 miles away from you."
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
You're not going to be able to see it. That's the anatomy of trains for you.
You don't know that. You don't even know the difference between a train and a trolley.
I do. I just demonstrated it.
This is just a hypothetical situation here.
Okay.
In this hypothetical, you don't know. You know that the conductor can't stop the train before he hits these 5 people. You also know that the 5 people are not going to recognize that the train is going to hit them before it hits them, and you also somehow.
If that's all the stuff that you need to make the scenario make sense for you, then that's fine.
And you also know that this fat guy will derail the train and save the
Right, this guy is like huge.
Right.
So here's the question: would you push the fat guy off?
Yeah, with all those factors being in there.
Those factors don't necessarily need to be there.
You
need to know about the fat guy, but you do not need to know that the conductor sees him and will be able to stop. A train cannot stop in that time.
You have to know that it can't, though.
Okay, sure. You have to be like you, who was uninformed and then are informed now. Like, if I saw a situation, I would know that train has no way of stopping in that time.
Right, but then you also have to know that the 5 guys aren't going to recognize that the conductor can't stop before he hits them.
What do you mean?
You would have to know that these 5 workers or whoever they are standing on the train tracks aren't going to recognize that the train is going to run them over.
Well, in many ways, people fix that problem with the scenario and say that these 5 people are tied up to the train, like in a cartoon or something.
Oh, okay, they're tied up on the tracks?
They're tied up on the tracks.
Okay, so in that case you know. Okay, so yeah, with all those factors being in place, and me knowing all those things, then first I would ask the guy if he would like to do that.
And he would say no way. Most people would say no way. Like, unless he really hates himself, he would say no way.
Yeah, and then if he didn't...
Because what if there's a scenario if he doesn't know if he's going to stop the train or whatever. But anyways, continue. Yeah,
so all those factors being in place, and the guy also saying no, he doesn't want to, then I would push him onto the tracks.
You would still do it.
Right.
So you didn't have to ask him at all. It doesn't actually matter. Because you were going to do it either way. If you wanted to be...
yeah, because then I would have felt better.
So that factor didn't actually count.
Yeah, it did, because then
for some people it might. For you it didn't, though.
If he was going to jump on there, if I asked him and he said yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, then I'm not even involved in the situation at that point.
Just go, buddy.
Yeah, just hop off the train.
Well, you put the thought in his mind that maybe I can do something useful with my life instead of be like.
So it's still
lumbering around.
It's different than pushing someone over a ledge.
It's true. The difference between this scenario and the other one is that you are directly killing someone. You are directly pushing this person off the ledge to kill them in front of a train.
Whereas in the other scenario, you're indirectly?
You're indirectly doing it because you're just pulling a lever and the other guy happened to be there.
Well, no, you are killing them directly.
Sort of.
In the first scenario. I mean, you're opting to kill that person. Right.
Okay, yeah, sure, I guess you are.
In this scenario, in both scenarios, you have the option to let 5 people die or to let 1 person die.
Okay.
So it's
I think it's still indirect, though. Okay, maybe that's a question, though. Is there a difference between, like, pulling a lever to pick 1 person or 5 and physically using your hands to kill someone?
I don't see what the difference is.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
There is no difference. Okay. I mean, unless you can explain it to me.
Some people might think that there's a difference.
There's no difference.
Okay. I kind of agree. But we've talked about this, how my opinion on morals is very not accepted. Okay. And if the guy, there's another part of the question is, if the people are tied up, then who tied them up? Is the,
Yeah, aren't they going to be responsible? Isn't that person responsible?
Right. So that's part of it, yeah. You have one person or 5 people, and let's say they're both tied up. Or, let's say the one person isn't tied up, and the 5 people are, and you pull the lever, is it still your fault for killing the one person, or is it the fault of the person who tied the 5 up? Because the person who tied the 5 up, should he be at fault for killing the other one person? Even though he was intending to kill the 5 people?
Yeah.
He should?
Yeah, I think so.
And so should all, like, blame and everything go to him, and you shouldn't actually care about what happens?
Well, you should care about what happens, but all the blame should go to the other guy that tied him up.
Well, should you care what happens, though? Like, because there are a lot of people who, if they indirectly kill someone
yes,
or
you
directly
should care if you kill somebody. Yes, you should.
But they're gonna have, like, mental issues and stuff, some people will. Mental and emotional issues for the rest of their life.
Well, that's their problem. They need to care if you need to care if you kill somebody, though.
I mean, not if it's your fault, though, right? Or not if it's not your fault. Like, the villain did it.
You should still feel something. I'm not saying it needs to ruin your life, but you should be like, dang, I wish that didn't happen.
Well, yeah.
You should have the same feeling as if you were...
I wish my tea wasn't almost empty.
No, you should have the same feeling that you would even if you just heard about it in the news.
We're also sponsored by Brisk. We love you, and
oh yes,
give us more tea.
Thank you for your generous donations, Brisk, to our nonprofit.
You can send us more half and half iced tea and lemonade.
I hate Brisk, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, they're our sponsor. You can't just come on. There goes that deal.
Yeah, we told them no strings attached, man. Nothing is off the table.
And I mean, we didn't directly say it, but the last 4 episodes we've been showing our love for Jolly Ranchers pretty hard. So Jolly Ranchers, if you want to fill that sponsorship spot that we just lost with Brisk.
Yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about Jolly Ranchers, so.
I do. Okay, so dang it, what did you say before I interrupted?
I was saying that you should feel the train conductor, if they have to kill that one person instead of the 5, they should feel just as bad as somebody reading it in the newspaper.
Oh, just as bad.
They should feel at least that bad.
Wait, not the conductor. It's you. You're not the conductor.
What?
You're not the conductor in this scenario.
In what scenario? Yeah, but I'm saying that if you are the conductor and you opt to kill the one person instead of the 5.
Right.
Even though it's not your fault that one person died.
Mm-hmm.
You should still feel bad that happened, though.
But that's how bad should you feel about it? Is it a moral requirement for you to feel bad? If you didn't, would there be something mentally wrong with you?
I would think, yeah.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that just lack of empathy, though?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Lack of empathy is a problem?
Yeah, totally.
We should write that down because we'll get on that later.
Okay.
There's another scenario where... Oh, go ahead.
I think it's essential to mental well-being, yeah. Empathy.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
There's another scenario where the train goes in a loop and stuff, but it's pretty complicated and I need a whiteboard to draw, and it's really not that relevant. The point is, this scenario is it's a psychological scenario that everyone kind of answers differently because some people care more about themselves and they're like, there's no way I couldn't kill that one person, because that'd be directly me killing them, while the 5 people is not me killing them. They were gonna die anyways if I wasn't walking past, right? And there's other people like you and me who just be like, kill the one person, it's all numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's the net evil is less, the net bad is less, you know what I mean?
Sort of. It's the main issue with that is that the one person wasn't going to die anyways, while the 5 people were automatically going to be dead if you didn't walk past, right?
Well, in actuality, all 7 of you are going to die eventually, so...
Shut up, dude. You know it's talking about cutting the life short.
Well, first of all, think about this. The fat guy, he's already cut his life short by being obese.
Okay, but he didn't cut it that short.
Yeah, but assuming that the 5 people on the tracks are healthy, then the net life that you've reduced is way less.
That's good.
Because first of all, those 5 people, that's you've cut out the rest of 5 lives, whereas this guy you've just cut out the rest of 1, and on top of that he was fat, so it was even less life than just a regular healthy human being.
That's fair.
If you're playing the numbers, like odds are like a healthy human being would have lived longer than that guy.
I like that a lot.
If that makes you feel any better,
what we need to say though is that we're not like crapping all over fat people, right?
Right, totally.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, eat however much you want.
It's just the fact. Okay, what if the person, instead of being fat, they had the ability to stop the train, but instead of an issue like being fat, they had cancer or something? You still push them off because of the numbers game, right?
Well, yeah, the same logic applies. Yeah.
What if it was a sickness that had a chance to kill them, but wouldn't necessarily?
You're still the same logic still applies. You're statistically, I mean, assuming the people on the tracks are healthy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, even still, you've got a 1 out of 5 chance that those people are going to live the average expected lifespan. Whereas this guy, or whoever it is on the track that you're going to push over, if they have a disease or something, that's like 50-50 or shoot, even 25-75, against.
You have to somehow know on the spot. You're like, this guy has a 1% chance more of dying. Like, these 5 people on the track have cancer, but this guy is in, like, stage 5 cancer. So
these scenarios are so contrived. I mean, like, these dilemmas just don't really come up in this way ever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of scenarios like this, like the surgeon one and, like the torture one, but they're all basically saying the same thing, and we don't really need to get into them all, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, would you rather more people die or less people die?
Basically.
Less people, right?
Well,
but if that means that you have to have a hand in those people dying, does that change how you feel?
Exactly.
And the answer should be yes, but also should be, well, you still got to do it anyway.
Right.
Like, it does change the way I feel, but I still got to go with less people dying.
It's kind of a question of selflessness, which is kind of funny because it's like saying, like, it's not just the moral of 1 versus 5, it's the moral question of how selfless are you willing to be here, and is it morally correct to be selfless here? And it's like, yeah, it is. And so to be selfless, you kill the 1 person instead of the 5. Just like, don't care about yourself. Because even if you did, let's say you killed someone and you couldn't live with yourself, literally couldn't live with yourself, had psychological and emotional issues after that, and offed yourself, that's still 2 to 5. The numbers still add up right.
I was just thinking that.
So the 5 person, like, sorry.
The problem here is, if the actions that could be interpreted with this line of thinking can get kind of dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, did you take any notes about that?
I don't recall, but continue on something.
Well, basically, like, if you continue down this line of thinking, like, less people dying is better than more, then, like, how far do you take that, Like, well, I don't know, like, you could get into a situation where, like, just, like, committing genocide is somehow, you know what I'm saying?
We don't even have to go that far. Let's just use a scenario that's, like, accurate right now. The war in the Middle East, right? The question is, if we allow, well, a lot of it's kind of over now, but, like, years ago, if we allowed these terrorists to keep living, they would kill more people. But if we just bombed them, we would kill a lot of civilians and stuff. But the numbers...
Well, we would save more lives by doing that.
The numbers, it's a numbers game. And it's also a game of, like, innocence versus villainy. Like, the terrorists are... You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the civilians... You're saving more civilians than you're killing in the end, right? So, I mean, that's, like, a scenario that's pretty modern and exactly that, right?
Or think about this. You know how we can well, maybe not completely eliminate cancer, but like really get it down?
Mm-hmm.
Just let cancer patients die.
Why?
They won't be able to pass on their genes.
Is cancer genetic?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
A lot of them are.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them, but obviously like smokers, heavy smokers getting lung cancer. Cancer is like a mixed bag, but yeah, a lot of cancers are just straight up genetic.
This is also kind of questioning whose life is more valuable. Like, do we have a life rate as a constant, or what about people who have mental handicaps?
Well, that's a good question.
Because that's also genetic, right? Am I wrong? Like, if two mentally handicapped people were to reproduce, their kid has a very solid chance of being mentally handicapped, right?
Yeah, like if you're not too severely handicapped to where you can reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this is a slippery slope we're getting into here.
That's why the trolley situation is like the main one. I think that's.
Do we just?
That's been around like since the '60s or something, right? So.
Yeah. Do we just kill? What do we do there?
The thing is, the situation.
That's what I'm saying. This trolley logic, less.
What we've shown of this trolley situation is that it's a lot more advanced than you can just say, because we have to determine those 5 people. Is one of them mentally handicapped? Is one of them have cancer?
Is one of them like 99 and about to keel over anyway?
So what about? Is it still just a numbers game? Like, let's say each of the 5 had something wrong with them. One of them had cancer, one was 99, one had a mental handicap, one was really fat, and the other one was like, I don't know, what's
had another disease?
Yeah, some other disease.
An immunodeficiency to where they can catch colds really easily and die from it?
Sure.
Okay.
Isn't that just like AIDS or something?
Yeah, it's kind of related to that, I think. Yeah.
So let's say that person had AIDS. And then the other person, the one person on the other track, let's say he was a perfectly healthy, white male, Caucasian, 23.
Why does his race come into it?
I know.
Are you implying certain race?
I did that intentionally because you mentioned genocide earlier and it had me thinking about the races and stuff.
Okay.
Because that's part of the slippery slope, is where people think that because there are diseases and stuff that affect certain races and not other ones. So...
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, like, yeah, that white guy is worth more than any other race.
Technically.
Because Caucasian is
Assuming this is in America, yes. Yeah.
White is the superior race.
Yes, we are. Get out of here. Why are you on my podcast? There's a reason I'm the host and he's not.
Okay. So, so it's a lot more complicated.
Answer the question, though. If the one person was healthy and the other 5 people weren't, who do you save at that point?
Well...
What if the numbers were even?
See, I think that's why you can't answer these questions, is because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that person with cancer, they could recover. The person with the immunodeficiency, they could live a normal lifespan and not catch a disease. You know what I'm saying? You can't know those things, which is why these questions aren't always as relevant. But yeah, I mean, assuming that you know, I think you'd still go with the one guy because the odds...
What if you know their life rate too? What if you do all the math of the 5 added up and it equals the exact same amount as the one person?
Oh, well then you killed the one guy.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why? Because 5 separate experiences at one time?
Right.
Well...
Because then what those 5 people could do would be greater than what that one guy could do.
Not necessarily.
Potentially.
Remember, one of them's 99.
Yeah.
One has a mental handicap.
In that 1 year, he could discover the cure for cancer and then cure the guy with cancer's cancer. And then that guy with cancer could find it.
But the white male, the 23-year-old, he's young, so he's going to be farther advanced in science than the 99-year-old, because that's how college works and stuff. And he could go and he could find the cure for cancer and mental retardation and all this other stuff because he has 76 years before he's equal to the 99-year-old. He has 76 years of time.
Yeah, but the 99-year-old would be closer since he'd been researching this for a long time. You see what I'm saying?
Not necessarily,
he's more experienced and seasoned.
Not necessarily, though, because, I mean, what you're taught and stuff, like, there's a reason college gets more and more advanced, right, every year. It's because we learn more and more things. So as the 99-year-old was growing up and learning all this stuff, it was going into college, too. So they're going to know about the same amount of stuff, right?
Yeah, but the old guy would be way more experienced and seasoned. You see what I'm saying?
Experienced in what? Like, just
in cancer research.
I guess. But I mean, the young guy only needs like 1 more year of practice, and then he's good to go.
No, not necessarily. That doesn't make up for all the years of experience.
Okay, well, this is where we're just measuring things that aren't really measurable, like experience and life rate and all.
Exactly.
So
I mean, realistically though, because those things can't be known, then it comes down to the question of like, well, how do you measure? How do you compare like two lives?
Well, that's why the question has been around so long, because there is no clear-cut answer. Right? That's why this is like the main scenario that everyone goes to. Well, that's what
this show is about. We got to answer this definitively once and for all.
I objectively, not objectively, for the majority of the time, let's say it's 75 to 25%, I would kill the one guy.
Okay.
Assuming I didn't know all the stuff about the people's lives and stuff and could not sit there and calculate it while the train's moving. Going like time dilate, so I'm figuring it out.
Oh man, we should do another episode about time travel. That was fun.
Maybe.
But yeah, so it's like.
I think the ratio's off, where I think the one person should just be killed more often, right?
Well, yeah, because in a real scenario, you can't know those things.
Right.
You just have to play the odds.
Right. But there's also the odds of like. Yeah, okay, never mind. That's off. Yeah.
I mean, you can expand the hypothetical out as far as you want.
Right.
You can give 5 different backstories. Actually, unlimited backstories to the 5 people.
Right.
And you could have the one guy that you're going to push over.
Unlimited backstories, yeah.
Yeah, too, as well.
So you have 6 unlimited backstories. And you, because in the scenario, you is just everyone reading the scenario. So we literally have an infinite there. Actually, we have like 7 billion.
Yeah, there's infinite number of possibilities, yeah.
Okay, so glad we didn't get an answer there. But for me, I would just kill the one person every time. I think that's the way you should do it.
Well, yeah.
And you agree?
Wait, so you agree with the logic that less people dying is always more morally... It's more right than more people dying?
Always is not the statement that I would make. It is not always,
okay.
But usually more.
But in that scenario, then yes.
Usually.
But because in that scenario, yes.
What I'm saying is, if the scenario came up 1,000 times, then 750 of the times I would pick the one person, 250 I'd pick the 5 people.
But what if even in the exact same scenario?
Even if it's the exact same scenario...
You'd still do it, you'd do it differently?
I guess I wouldn't, but it's, you know what I'm saying, there's a percentage there of like 75... I feel it is 75% correct to kill the one person instead of...
But you've only got 2 options.
Right, and instead of them being 50-50, like, it's a coin toss, I'll just go either way. I'm saying that the one person...
Yeah, but if you think it's 75% right, then you would still just do that every
We're talking
single time.
about infinite scenarios here, though, right? It's the same scenario, just infinite backgrounds. So for each different background, I would say 75% of the time.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. So you're saying the situation is changing. You're not saying it's the exact same situation every single time.
The scenario is the same
people,
but different people.
Okay, same situation, different people.
But I don't know the
Oh, but you don't know.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just kill that? Why wouldn't you kill the one guy every single time?
Okay, you're right. I guess I would kill the one guy if I didn't know. But if I did know, then it's like 75% of the time it would be correct.
Well, you can't really make that statement either because it all depends on...
You can actually figure out the math, though, of like 1 to 5 people and then figure out the backgrounds and stuff and the likely that they're mentally retarded or have a disease or have cancer or something. You could figure out like what's the average amount of person who has cancer, the average person who's... And you could probably sit down and figure out the math and like... And find the exact percentage that would be correct or whatever.
Well, that could give you an estimate of the percentage of the times that you're going to kill the one guy or kill the 5 people. But if you actually know the backstories on each of these people every single time...
Then you just make a choice based on math. Like, you make the choice of, like, who has more life here.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to kill the one guy 75% of the time.
But if it comes to...
It would depend on the situation.
You are right,
because you're judging the situation.
Right.
We are really getting into the weeds on this one.
And if you change the scenario, like, if it's no longer the trolley problem and it's just something else, like a war, questioning whether to bomb someone or something. What was that?
I was looking at the recorder thing.
Oh, okay. Questioning whether to bomb someone or something. Then the scenarios change, and I say, probably about, more often than not, even if the scenario is changing, I'll say out of the infinite number of scenarios, probably about 70-75% of them, I'm going to save the more people. Even if the scenarios change it.
Okay, let me give you this situation.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know that you have a cure for the flu, influenza, okay, which kills thousands of people every year. It seriously does.
Okay.
This is real.
This is real talk right now.
Yeah. But in order to get it right, you have to test it on 5 people.
Okay.
And they will definitely die from the testing that you have to do on them.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You kill those 5 people?
Heck yeah.
So you just test them and kill them?
I mean, look, they have the flu already, right? Because I need to test the cure.
No, they don't.
They don't have the flu.
Yeah.
So I need to test the cure on people who don't have it? The scenario doesn't sound legit.
Yeah, the cure, in the refining of the cure involves giving a more deadly virus to a healthy person that doesn't have the flu, and then extracting the antibodies from their dead body.
And I am 100% sure that testing it on 5 people will give me the answer.
Yes, it's not even really a test. You just have to kill them and collect their antibodies from their dead body.
And that will create an infinite supply of...
Yes, that will create the key to unlock. You already know it's in there, but you just have to be collected, and then that will be put into the cure, which will be then reproducible synthetically.
Okay, and it's 100%.
100%.
No 99.9.
You are going to cure influenza.
Every
strain of it.
Can I pick the people?
Well, that depends. I mean, you could ask.
What I'm saying is, we kill people in our jail systems by injecting them and stuff, and if someone's gonna die anyways through the jail, why not just kill those 5 people with the something to help other people? In fact, in that scenario, a lot of them who are just like have accepted their fate already, they would be happy to give their bodies to determine to help other people out in the future.
Okay, that's a very practical answer, actually.
So, I mean, can we just do that?
Yeah, okay, problem solved.
Problem solved.
Okay, cool. I guess so. I mean, there's nothing, no reason not to, really.
Is that all the scenarios that we've created? Are we?
I mean, we could make up different situations all day. And
Hitler did nothing wrong or something.
Oh yeah, do you kill baby Hitler? If you get the chance.
Through time travel?
Well, so hypothetically, you have a time machine and you go back in time. Do you kill baby Hitler?
This isn't like last time where we're going 30 minutes just to like blow it all out and be like, oh wait, none of that works because there'll be infinite copies of you.
Right. Okay, but
we're not doing that.
Hypothetically, okay, regardless.
Yes, I kill baby Hitler. 6 million people is worth more than one person.
But you have to smother the baby.
Now, here's the moral question, really though. What if the Jews and gays and everyone that he killed would actually end up killing more people in the future?
in some sort of
Like they get the
like
Jews
some sort of
create their own
Jewish gay-
genocide.
some
Yeah.
sort of-
The gay Jews get together with their colored hats and they're like, we're killing everyone who's straight and not Jewish.
the gay straight wars,
Mm-hmm.
and that the toll is way over 6 million. That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Well, yeah, okay.
The question again is if you know that they're gonna do it or not.
Yeah.
Because if you know, then you're like,
Then you're
okay, let Hitler live. Hitler did nothing wrong. And
Well,
then,
no, that's not what you say.
yeah.
You just
I
say
know.
this wrong thing happening prevented
Right.
more
right.
wrong things from happening.
So just let Hitler be.
It's a lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
you don't even have to kill Hitler. You can just let him into art school.
Yeah, just like change his transcript.
Yeah. It's like he got in.
Or really, you know what? Just like take baby Hitler like to an orphanage, like in another.
Yeah.
He grows up. Maybe he gets like some better parents and like actually becomes an amazing artist.
Okay, we're getting off trail here and we're already 40 minutes into this. We have so much more to talk about here. Okay. Do our morals come strictly from a god? That's
Well,
like-
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously?
Yeah,
Why?
obviously. I mean, first of all, the Bible is proof that God exists.
Shut up, dude. You're not allowed to be a Christian on this show.
The Bible is proof that God exists, okay? And then obviously
He's
God lays
joking
out
for those of you who don't know.
God laid out the
It's
moral-
hard to tell when he's joking, but he's joking.
No, I'm dead serious. Look,
He says he's dead serious, but he's joking.
have you ever read a Spider-Man comic?
I have not.
But you know that they exist, right?
I can't confirm or deny whether I've seen one, but I will say that they probably exist.
Okay. That's proof that Spider-Man exists.
In paper, yeah.
Same thing.
So what
Boom.
you're saying is that our morals...
Take that, atheists.
you're saying that our morals come from a religion,
Oh.
not a actual supernatural deity.
Well, they're one and the same. They're one and the same.
No, they're not, though. Because religion
I mean-
was not necessarily created by a supernatural deity, but
Well, Christianity
then...
was.
Shut up, dude.
It's the one true religion.
You're not allowed to talk like that on this show. I have to keep you in check here. Listen. Okay, so the problem is religion. You're saying we get our morals from religion, but
Well, no, just from
then
the one true
people
religion, yeah.
created the religion, and so the morals actually come from the people. Then, right?
Well,
Assuming in a hypothetical world where there is no God, I can't believe I even have to say that. But
I mean, if you want to, yeah, I mean, in this hypothetical world where there is no God, but I mean, in the real world where we know the Bible is.
you're ruining my show, dude. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
What happened?
Oh, the Avengers 2 trailer just dropped.
Well, you're gonna have to wait for
I'm
that
gonna be
on
up
YouTube.
all night doing the review of that trailer.
I'll do it with you.
Are you serious? Do you want to?
Sure. Let's finish this episode and stop.
Okay. You're right.
Okay. Josiah's just joking. I'm pretty sure he's just joking.
What? You're not a Christian?
That's not relevant to the show, though.
I'm just kidding. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I mean.
Okay, yeah. I'll pretend hypothetically right now that God doesn't exist, even though we know for a fact that He does.
No, for a fact. We did an episode on this, dude.
And we know for a fact that Christianity is the one.
Okay,
religion.
so.
Yeah. Okay. Assuming that you're, one of those crazy atheists. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Okay. Go.
You just dropped off like half our friends. Anyway, so then the morals come from the people who created the religion. So the question then is, where did the morals come from in the first place, right?
Well, I mean, you could make the case if you're into, the theory of evolution and all that. That, yeah, like biologically, yeah.
He believes in evolution, which is why this is funny.
Well, there is a theory part of it too. I mean, why do we call it a theory?
It's the Big Bang Theory, too.
Yeah, why do we call that a theory? Boom, take that, atheist. Okay, but yeah, you could make the case that
He's joking.
in the evolution,
I promise you, he's joking.
the evolution of humans, we at some point learned that
You had a little too much pizza, dude.
or some of our early ancestors learned that it's like hurting other people can cause repercussions that will eventually hurt you.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
So you're saying karma, basically.
Like, hey, like if I take, you know, my other caveman's, you know, meat, then he might, you know, take my meat later. Or worse, hit me with the bone of the meat that he got that animal from.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, once, you know, humans got to the point where they could, like, you know, think about the future and stuff, well, then those humans were the ones that reproduced because they were most fit.
So you're saying that they do what they can to survive, and that's where our morals came from, the ability, wanting to survive.
Well, that's one theory.
Okay.
So to a certain extent, the idea of morality could extend, it could be genetic.
Right.
To a certain extent. Like we were talking about empathy, like that might actually be a genetic component of our physiology, like our ability to do that.
Because we want to, because you will have a higher chance of surviving if you're in a group of people or a group of animals, right? And in order to be in a group, you need to be quote-unquote civil or moral with each other?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Well, yeah, that's right. Well, what I'm saying is, yeah, modern humans might derive their sense of morality, or what we would call morality, from our ancestors, what's the word I'm looking for? From our ancestors, you know, learning to empathize and realize the repercussions of their actions.
So
that's what I'm trying to say, I think.
Would you say that it's genetic, though, or would you say that we're taught that by experience from what we see from our parents, though?
I mean, okay, well, here's what would have to happen for it to be genetic. You'd have to have a mutation somewhere along in human evolution, right? You'd have to have a mutation that gave a certain amount of humans the ability to do this, to either empathize or think about the repercussions of their actions, you know? And then those humans would have had to have mated with other humans, and then now you've got this expanding pool of genes, and that expanding pool is more fit to survive because they become more social because you can get more people together, and they're less prone to fight with other groups because they realize the repercussions of they have like some forethought, and so if that was genetic. Now, I mean, on the other hand, it might have just been through trial and error, and then we learned like humans, like there was no mutation or anything that gave us the ability to do that.
We've just learned over time.
We just learned over time, and then that
you're born with no sense of morality then, and then you grow up into morals because you're taught them?
Right. Like you're not born knowing what 2 + 2 is, or even the concept of numbers, right? But we've taught and added to the idea of mathematics. So yeah, the idea of like not hurting other people because then they might want to hurt you later, or stuff that might have just been learned, and then just every subsequent generation just pass those ideas along. And this would have to go back like you know, to cavemen and like, you know, prehistoric.
It wouldn't necessarily even have to. It's just as simple as a child touching a pot that's on a stove and realizing it's hot, and they realize they're not going to do that again. You said with the stealing thing, if a child steals something, then someone's going to like hit that child, and they don't want that to happen. Right?
Right. Yeah, okay.
So what we've got here then is we've got 3 places that morality could come from. We've got a deity.
But what I'm saying is like,
and
I don't think you can necessarily get like civilization without those ideas coming before that.
I mean,
so like if you look at like early civilizations like Egypt, and stuff like that, like I don't think you can get that kind of cooperation without either the evolutionary adaptation for forethought and the idea of consequences and stuff, or the other way that we said where you just learn it and pass it down. Like I don't think you can get that level of cooperation without having that already in like accepted. You know.
So you have to be taught it, basically.
No, I'm just yeah. Well,
if it's not the evolution and it's not the deity, then you have to be taught it, and we're just been taught over years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah, but I mean, even the idea of, well, I don't know if the concept, I don't know how old the concept of morality is, but like, even just
Pretty
like
old.
Other, like, the idea of right and wrong it goes back a long time, right?
Very long.
But
time.
like, what different civilizations' idea of right and wrong have changed like a lot.
Yes. Yes,
You know what I mean?
Okay. You basically went through everything that I was going to talk about with the evolution thing. I'm just going to read through it real quick. Morality could just be a product of what evolution has told us. For example, through our instincts, we want to survive, so we're stronger in a group and don't need to kill each other unless someone poses a threat. Because it's pretty widely accepted that killing another human being is morally wrong, right?
Mm-hmm. Unless they're trying to kill you.
And you said the social thing. Social animals, such as elephants, gorillas, or even ants, show some form of morality by doing what's best for their survival in a group. The example here being ants, female ants. You know about that? No? Cool.
Female ants?
Female ants.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of them.
Yeah, ants can be female. And they give up their reproductive abilities in order for the queen to create all the children or something like that. And so I'm not sure how they do it biologically, but there's a way that they I know this sounds crazy, but apparently it's totally real.
What do you mean they give it up? Like they're born with it, but then they lose the ability?
I think so, yeah. And they do it for what's best for the group and the best...
But do they actually have the choice?
I think so.
Like they're actually like...
Yeah,
that's the queen. I'm not the queen. I'm going to shed my reproductive organs.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think ants are like self-aware like that. I don't
well,
think.
Yeah, obviously they don't thinking those things.
They don't think those things, but it's just like what happens naturally because that's what's supposed to happen. These other female ants give up their reproductive abilities in order for the queen to do it because that's the way their whole governmental system or whatever works.
Yeah, but I mean. They're not really giving it up, though. I mean, they're just not. I mean, to us, it seems like they're giving it up, but I mean, to the ants.
Biologically, they give it up without thinking about it, though. Like, biology has said that they need to do this in order to survive because over natural selection, over years and years and years, the ant colonies that have survived are the ones that have the queen as the one that's reproducing and not the other ants, right?
Right.
Okay. Some traits in animals that would allow for a sense of morality include a high intelligence, a capacity for symbolic communication, a sense of social norms, realization of self, and a concept of continuity. So there's this issue here with the ant example I just gave is ants don't necessarily have like half of those, right?
Right.
So we have that kind of stuff in gorillas and apes and stuff, and we know that they are basically moral animals. Like we can put them in a lot of scenarios to test how moral they are, and it comes out pretty clear, right?
I mean that they have the capacity for something, yeah, that we would call morality.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Humans and some other social animals share the following characteristics, and these are like moral characteristics basically. Attachment and bonding, cooperation and mutual aid, sympathy and empathy, direct and indirect reciprocation, altruism and reciprocal altruism, conflict resolution and peacemaking, deception and deception detection, community concern and caring about what others think of you, and awareness of and response to social rules of the group. Those are all things that... Stop watching the Avengers trailer.
I'm not.
So those are all characteristics that need to happen, or that are part
100% agree.
That are all part of morality, and these can be observed in many social animals, these things, and so the idea is that these animals are considered moral because they have these traits. And so the argument that morality could come biologically and not necessarily from a god is pretty solid there, because a god or a deity doesn't necessarily have a reason to give animals these traits when, like in the Christian religion, in the Bible, it says that the humans are to, I guess, rule over and dominate the animals, right?
Mm-hmm,
So the animals need no moral rules if the humans were to do that. And so that's a pretty good argument for morality coming biologically.
Wait, why don't animals need morality if humans are ruling over? Is that what you just said?
Basically, yeah. Like, animals don't need to have a morality in them.
Well, then do humans need morality since God created us and He ruled over us?
If in the religion, yes, in the Christian religion, then humans needed morality because that's the whole concept of sin and everything. So, and because it says we are to rule over these animals or whatever, then animals don't need morality. But it's been proven that these animals have a very similar concept of morality that we know today.
Yeah, but God still could have given him that.
But there's no reason for it, is the point. And why would God give them the sense of morality? Animals can't, like, sin, right?
Why wouldn't He?
Can animals sin? That's going to be an episode.
That's a good question. I have no idea. I mean, do they have free will? Yeah.
Not really.
I mean, technically
so.
they can do whatever they want. They just don't have the capacity for all the things that we do.
They don't have free will in the sense that they don't have the religious free will of, they don't have the choice of, am I going to heaven or hell, right? Because all dogs go to heaven, they don't have a choice.
I mean, well, but I don't know. I mean, technically, an ant, it doesn't have the capacity to think this thought, but it could think. But I mean, it could, get kicked by a hand, or get swatted by a hand, and then
I kick with my
find
hands.
that hand and then bite it. You know what I mean?
Is that sinning, biting it back? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, it has the choice to do that.
Right.
It just doesn't have the capacity to think along the same lines that we do.
So why does it need morality, though, in a religious context?
Well, it doesn't need it.
Okay, there you go.
Why do we need it?
We need it because we are basically the whole revolving point of the Bible is a relationship between how God and us treat each other, because the whole concept is we are sinning, so we go to heaven or hell, and God created us because He loved us or whatever, right? We need it because we need a concept of sin.
Maybe animals don't possess any morality. We are just viewing something, we are just viewing choices that they make. Because you're saying they don't have free will. Right? So if they don't have free will...
I said they don't have free will in the religious sense that they don't have free will. Like, if you hit a dog, it has the choice to run away.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, what was the question again? I got lost for a second.
Thinking about that Avengers, huh?
I'm really.
Why would animals have morality in a religious context?
Oh, I don't think they do.
But it's observable. We've observed that animals have all those traits that I listed.
But as I said, we're just observing things that we're calling morality.
Right. So...
I mean, it could just be the forethought. They might just have the mental capacity for the idea of consequences, you know what I'm saying?
They just act the way that they should act, and we are taught to act that way as well by our deity or whatever.
I don't know why you keep bringing that up. All I'm saying is that animals may just be doing things, may just be reacting to stimuli, and we are just calling that morality. Like they
Well,
probably,
we could be too if we're talking biologically. That's what I said earlier. There's three ways here. We have the deity, we have biologically, and then we have the teaching way. That morality has passed over the years.
So yeah, animals could have just learned it though. I mean, they have the capacity to learn too.
Right.
So yeah.
So what I'm saying though is in the deity version, and in a religious context, why would the animals have any morality? And you're saying that they just have traits that we observe as morality.
Yeah.
They have traits that are similar to doing good and doing the correct thing that we have been taught through, or taught by our God, quote unquote. And so my question is, why would they have those traits? Why would they do that?
Well, they could have just learned it.
Okay, so we could have two out of the three in one scenario?
Yeah, you're saying that like if God is the source of humans' morality, then they must be the source for animals' morality too, but that's not necessarily.
Okay, that's interesting. So, wow, that's really like throwing
I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, now I get what
because
you're getting at.
the whole argument for the biological thing is that like humans, we've observed it in other animals and stuff, so it's very possible
that means that our sense of morality must be derived from the same as theirs.
It's not that it must be, but the question there's a question of, is like the main debate is God our source of morality, and we couldn't have morality without God? And it's like, no, because we have biologically. But now, it's like, yeah, but we could have biologically and through a deity is what you're saying. Because we can have 2 out of 3. Heck, we could have all 3.
Well, yeah, think about it. Even people that aren't Christians can do nice things.
Shut up, dude. The conclusion on the biological thing, there's a lot of studies on morality coming from evolution, but none of them are 100% conclusive. There are a lot of them. I couldn't read them all in time. So now the question is, if our morality doesn't come from biology, is it still important?
Well, yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Okay. Now, if our biology,
you have an argument for that?
if our morality doesn't come from biology and it doesn't come from a deity, is it still important?
I don't know. Define important.
Is it relevant to our lives at all? Like, why does it matter if I murder 10,000 people if there's no God to send me to hell for it?
Huh. I don't know. I guess you just have your own well-being to think about.
Okay. In like that time travel scenario, if you're if you're basically immortal and kill 10,000 people and there's no God, is there anything wrong with that?
Well, I guess in the time travel scenario, as long as you reverse it later, then you're good.
Assuming you can't reverse it. Basically, if you have the ability to kill 10,000 people with no physical consequences to your physical body, and there is no God to condemn you to hell,
Okay.
Is there anything morally wrong with killing those 10,000 people?
Well, yeah.
What makes it wrong? What's wrong about that?
Well, I mean,
there is no right or wrong, right?
The real question you're asking is like, yeah, I mean, well, without a deity, really, there is no basis for, like, there is no moral authority.
Right.
It's just, and it's like it's a rotating. Morality is just like a rotating. It's
a rotating rotating
it's just a concept that's evolving.
Right.
Through over time.
So is it important though?
Cultures.
If there is no objective right and wrong, is it important?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, complex like social structures revolve around around like accepted ideas of right and wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I mean it's important to maintain a certain level of order, I guess, if you want to call it that, from a structural standpoint,
So in order to not live in an anarchy, we need to say that there is a right and there is a wrong, even if there is no God. If we don't want to be like survival of the fittest here and just like out like killing each other guns blazing or whatever, we need to say that there is a right and there is a wrong in order to survive, because we would want to create a governmental system instead of just an anarchy, right?
Well, not necessarily governmental system. I think anarchy, I think even in the face of no government, I think there would still be structures that
Okay, that's a
rise
good
up.
question.
I'm just saying that, like, yeah, order, I don't think order is exclusive to the existence of a government, but that's a totally different subject. But I totally get what you're saying. And yeah.
Okay. So here's the scenario for you. We live in an anarchy world, right? There are no governments anywhere.
Okay.
People are out doing their thing.
Okay.
And there's like, let's say there's 5 people. One of the people is raping another one of them, right?
Okay.
And the others are like, hey, that guy's my friend.
Guy on guy, I'm assuming?
Doesn't matter? Does it matter?
No, I'm just trying to build a mental image, but now that I think about it, I probably should just not try to.
Adulterer. So
okay,
one
person's
person's raping the other,
okay.
and so then the other 3 are like, hey, that's not right, and they kill the guy who raped him. Why would the 3 think that it's not right? Or maybe they would just do it because the guy getting raped was their friend? So,
well, by definition, if he's getting raped, then that means that he didn't want to do it. Am I right?
Right.
So, yeah, maybe the 3 guys were just helping out their friend.
Okay, what if it wasn't a friend, though? Why would they kill the one person? If there's no morality and there's no, like, if it's all just anarchy,
well, I don't know. You just made up this whole situation, so you,
we were talking
just
about,
make up a reason.
Well, what we were saying earlier is that we have governmental systems, we create a right and wrong. We put people in jail and stuff for certain actions that we deem as right and wrong. Well, what if there was no government and it was all anarchy? The government systems develop because there were people who felt a certain way in the anarchy. That's what I was trying to demonstrate.
Well,
these 3 people felt that the raping was wrong, so they killed the rapist.
Yeah, but even in that, well, I mean, this is kind of getting off subject a little bit. But my whole point is that you didn't need to institute anything that you would call a government in order for those 3 people to help out their friend. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I think commonly accepted ideas of morality isn't exclusive to the existence of a government. But
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
And in a scenario like that, you have someone raping someone and the other 3. Sometimes the other 3 don't have any empathy. It'll just be like, sucks for him. And they won't bother killing the rapist, right?
Well, why do they even kill? Why don't they just stop it? I mean, they don't have to necessarily kill him, right?
Well, I mean, they don't. But
the person?
I mean, stopping it doesn't give punishment. And the point was that there's an example of morality there if they punish the person, just like sending someone to jail or something. You don't just like, if someone's raping someone, you don't just, in modern day society where we have a government, if someone's raping someone, you don't just stop them and be like, hey, don't do that, you know? Instead, you like call the cops and like send this fella to jail, right?
Yeah, assuming it's a guy.
All right.
So
adulterer.
What's your point again?
What I'm saying is, in an anarchy society, some of the 3 people would kill the guy, and some of the 3 wouldn't. So, in that situation, like on a like
so you've got 3 psychopaths with
are
the
they
ability to not.
Are they considered psychopaths though because they don't have that moral grounding when there's no government or anything telling them to have that moral grounding?
Yeah. Okay, the absence of a government is not the absence of governance.
We're just deeming them psychopath because is the definition of psychopath someone who doesn't have morality in this sense then?
Well,
Is that one of the
you don't
definitions of
necessarily
psychopath?
like we said. Morality could just be a concept that we've chosen to call our evolutionary impulses to better our situation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, even in that scenario, I mean, yeah, like most people would feel the need to do something. Like what are you getting at by saying that the three people exist that don't have the ability to feel any empathy for someone getting raped? Like, what is the point of creating this situation again?
You're saying that their survival is what's important. Well, if there's three people who could not get raped by that person, let's say the person's like kind of average sized and these three guys are like huge and really buff and stuff, they're like,
Okay.
that person can't rape me, I don't care. Like, it's not necessary to my survival to stop that guy and kill him. While the other three people might have empathy, but would they automatically have empathy because they're smaller people and have the threat of being raped? Or is it because there is a morality on the inside of them or something?
Well, regardless of their rapeability, there's
Rapeability.
there's a certain
Like
concept.
gore grind band
So,
or something.
You've got the three people who maybe have a fear of getting raped, maybe they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But they see this other person getting raped, and they think, hey, that person doesn't want that to happen to them. We don't want that to happen to us.
But they couldn't have it happen to them because they're bigger, so they don't care.
Well, yeah, but if they're smart enough, if they're evolved enough, they'll realize that there could exist a person that could rape them.
But that specific person wouldn't, and so they don't need to kill or stop that specific person because it doesn't matter to them.
Let me finish.
I'll let you finish.
So they realized, like, yeah, maybe someday, I'll encounter somebody that could rape me. I don't want that to happen. This guy getting raped obviously doesn't want that to happen to himself either. So by not necessarily killing the rapist, but by saving the rapee, they now have a fourth person in their group
Oh, interesting.
that agrees with them.
And they would help each other out to not get raped.
Well, at the very least, the three people that think that don't want to get raped,
Mm-hmm.
they'll at least know that they have helped somebody else out that also agrees with them, thereby increasing the likelihood of their ideologies being spread of not raping people.
That was good, dude. That's good. I have nothing to say on that. You nailed it. So
I'm just saying, like, if they're smart enough, like,
so
that's
morals,
a pretty good idea.
So the majority of morals maybe stop that. The majority of morals maybe are because you want to be able to survive, right? And you because of empathy, really. Because you want to be able, but empathy is a selfish thing in this sense of you wanting to survive. Empathy is not, I want to help this person because I'm helping them. In this situation, empathy is, I want to help this person so it doesn't happen to me.
Well, that's a really rudimentary way of thinking about it, but yeah, that's probably how our early ancestors...
Call me rudimentary?
I'm saying that's probably how our early ancestors... That was probably the beginning concepts...
Right.
Of what eventually evolved into morality.
And now we know if you see someone raping, you just stop it. You don't stop it because you think I don't want to get raped. You just stop it.
We've gotten to the point where, like, hey, that's just not something that should be happening.
Yeah, we just don't think about it. Well, that was good. Nailed it.
You're welcome.
Should we always be trying to do what we think is morally correct or good?
Sure, why not?
Why or why not?
Why or why? I don't know. Well, yeah, okay. You could make the argument that you should because that'll give more legitimacy to your idea of what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, by increasing the chances of you spreading your personal ideology on morality.
That's good. Wow, dude, you're nailing this.
I know, just on I'm on a roll here.
That pizza did something for you. Domino's.
Oh, yeah. All right, keep them coming.
I think we already did this one. What's the importance of being moral if there's no objective right and wrong? We basically demonstrated that. What's the importance of being moral if there is an objective right and wrong? If the objective right and wrong is not a deity or a god with punishment, well, there is no way to prove that there is an objective right or wrong, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a moot point.
Yeah. It's a moo point. You know, it's like a cow's opinion.
Whoa! How long have you been waiting to use that one? Did you just come make that up?
That's from Friends, dude, and everyone knows that joke.
Well, excuse me for not knowing obscure 90s references.
You're older than I am.
By like 6 months.
Like 8 months, dude. When were you born?
93?
Okay, you were like a whole year and like a couple months.
What month were you? You were born in February of 94, right?
95, dude.
That's over a year.
Yeah, I know. A year and a couple months.
Oh man, that was simpler times back when I was
You were
your
born in
age.
September? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's over a year.
That's like almost a year and a half. Okay. How far would you stretch your morals for $10 million?
What are we talking here? Yeah, see because obviously like the rudimentary seedlings of morality comes from our biological need to enhance our position for survival, right?
Right.
So like money starts to skew the
Exactly.
because money can put you at an advantage, comparative advantage. So
you could become that person who killing 10,000 people has no negative effect on you if you have enough money.
Yeah.
If you theoretically, you would need a very large amount of money, but
what are we talking here?
Okay,
$10 million?
10 million is the number that I've given you. I figured 1 million is not enough.
No way. Well, actually, I would still be better off than I am now.
Would you kick a dog in the head?
For $10 million?
Yeah, like as hard as you could.
Yes.
Would you kill a dog?
Yes.
Would you kick a human in the head?
Ooh. Are there any repercussions for my actions?
That human could have brain damage or something. But no, the human's not gonna it's not the mafia and they're gonna send people to kill you.
Am I gonna get in trouble for it?
No.
Or do I run the risk of getting in trouble for it?
No, you're just...
Oh shoot, I got $10 million, I can take an assault charge.
Exactly, that's why I'm like, no, I don't get it.
Okay, yeah.
It's more of just, you're kicking them in the head as hard as you can.
I kick a human being in the head as hard as I can. Okay,
Let's test it.
Yes.
Yes? For 10 million?
10 million? Oh,
you could potentially kill the person.
I run the risk, but the chances are low, right?
I mean, it depends on how hard you can kick.
Well, no, you don't. No. If you kick, no, you're not gonna kill somebody by kicking somebody in the jaw.
In the jaw? We're not talking
in the
jaw.
face.
I said in the head. We're talking like side of the head or back of the head or the here.
Oh.
We're not talking jaw.
Okay, and they're just standing, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Cause,
You would do it?
Yeah, totes.
No big deal.
That wouldn't kill
You
them.
have the potential to kill them though. You could kick someone in the head hard enough to kill them.
Okay,
Let's say it's like a 15% chance to kill them.
will you know that I?
But like a
Will you know that I
40%
kicked
for
them as
brain
hard as I
damage.
could?
Shut up, dude. Yes, you have to kick them as hard as you could.
Okay, I would say yes and then not kick them as hard as I could.
That's not the scenario, and you're cheating.
And then I would just say that I did, and then I would lie to you. Now you got me kicking people and lying.
It's true.
That's 2 vices down.
If we are not satisfied, we do not give you the 10 million. So if we even suspect for a second that you didn't kick them as hard as you can, you would end up kicking a person and
Okay,
without
yeah,
a 10
I would
million.
kick them because I don't think I could kill somebody with a kick.
Okay, let's say there's like a 10% chance to kill them.
10%? Yeah, I'll take those odds.
And 30% chance for brain damage.
Well, brain damage, that's kind of permanent, huh?
It's kind of permanent.
Yeah, I'll take those odds. I mean, it's better than 50-50. That's quite a... Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Would you kill a person for 10 million?
No.
How high does the money count need to go for you to kill someone?
I don't think I could kill anybody just for money.
A whole country? If you became the king of a country, would you kill one person?
I don't have any longing for that kind of responsibility.
What do you long for? What would it take? That's what I'm asking. What would it take for you to kill someone?
I don't think I could just flat out kill somebody.
I mean,
like just for some kind of like.
What's your dream in life? Like, what's your ideal life scenario?
To become a prestigious director, make a bunch of huge blockbusters that are like wildly successful, then make a bunch of like low budget movies that like win a bunch of like Oscars, and then retire probably somewhere in Texas on a bunch of land.
So what if someone guaranteed you all of that? Would you kill someone?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you?
I don't know. I didn't think about this.
What's your okay? What if I could promise you a sweet band and a worldwide success, and like metal becomes like mainstream? What if I could guarantee you?
Okay, first of all, you're saying a scenario that I don't necessarily want.
Every top 40 radio station is replaced by top 40 metal.
There's a lot of crappy metal out there, so...
Yeah, but all the top 40 metal songs are all bands that you like, and your band is number one.
That doesn't do anything for me. Basically,
that excites
you're saying, what if I was in Death Clock, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's exactly.
Would I kill someone to be in Death Clock?
Yes. I can't believe you're even thinking about this, dude. You're a murderer. You're a murdering psychopath.
What's funny here is my only, you're saying I'm a murdering psychopath, and actually, let's talk about this for a second.
Okay, what is there to talk about?
There's this idea that a lot of Christians and stuff will say, yeah, if you're not a Christian, then you shouldn't have any morals, and what's to stop you from killing someone? And then people will say, wow, you're a psychopath if that's the only thing stopping you from killing someone. And then I realized as you asked me that, I was like, okay, if I got literally everything I wanted in life for killing someone, and a God didn't exist, if I didn't believe in a God, then sure, I'd do it. Because the consequences to me don't matter at that point. And you're saying I'm a psychopath, and that's funny because that's what other people would say too.
No, I'm not saying that there would be no consequences.
I would have all the money in the world, basically, right?
No, you would just be in Death Clock, that's it.
Death Clock has like all the money in the world, basically. You've never seen Metalocalypse, have you?
But they actually don't, is what I'm saying.
They basically do, though.
Oh, is this a fictional band?
Yeah. Wow, you don't know what I'm referencing here?
I have no idea.
Oh.
You know I'm not into the metal scene.
Okay, it's an Adult Swim show. In Metalocalypse,
I've heard of the show,
the concept is that there's this death metal band, and the whole idea originally was that they're the biggest band in the world, basically bigger than the Beatles, because the Beatles are the biggest band ever. But they took it to the extreme, and Death Clock is basically absurdly rich and can build giant machinery like the size of a country that can shoot lasers out for their shows and stuff, and all kinds of ridiculous stuff.
Okay.
And so when I said Death Clock, I was like, okay, so I have basically all the money in the world, I'm the biggest band in the world, and can do whatever I want without any consequences.
I mean, can Death Clock do that? I don't understand. I don't
Pretty
know.
much.
I've never seen the show.
I mean, some of the show is them dealing with that kind of stuff, but I mean, yeah.
With what, like the law?
Not the law. Like they drink a lot, and so there's consequences there, and stuff like health issues, and I mean, there would be the law, but like people try to kill them and stuff.
So all I'm saying is like you have to like, kill somebody, and they, unless you get rid of all your tracks, like you could potentially get found out. Is what I'm saying.
I mean,
it's not like a perfect like, I just put somebody in front of you, you pull the trigger, and then like all evidence is magically erased.
In that scenario, then then the risk is greater than the reward, right? Because I mean,
you tell me.
At that point, like.
It's your own assessment.
I kill someone, I get everything that I want, but then some people will hate me and try to kill me. And if people hate me and try
they won't necessarily. It's up to your own intellect to get rid of, whatever evidence to
oh, really?
pull off the crime. Yeah.
Oh, then heck yeah.
So you would kill somebody to be indefinite?
Well, not necessarily. Well, first of all, because you could just kill someone on the street and there would be it's very difficult. We talked about this, didn't we?
I mean, I've watched enough crime shows, yeah, like to totally get away with murder, and the show How to Get Away with Murder.
Murder for Dummies.
Which is a real show.
So, the question for me, strictly, and people might call me a psychopath for this, is 100% the eternity spectrum. I have to decide whether or not there is a God and whether or not there is a heaven and a hell.
Yeah, so you're risking that.
Right. And it's funny.
So you wouldn't risk that, or you would?
Well, let me explain. It's funny that because according to anybody else, that's the notion for being a psychopath if religion is the only thing stopping you from killing someone.
So you are that person then.
I might be.
Religion is the only thing stopping you from killing someone.
Probably. I mean, obviously it's a lot of work and stuff too. I wouldn't just kill someone. I would kill someone under the scenario that I get a bunch of money and be in the biggest band in the world and stuff if there was no religion. I would do that in a heartbeat. Screw that person, I don't care. My life at that point becomes more productive than whatever their life could have been anyways. Right?
What if it's somebody in the band and you're replacing them?
It's okay because I'm the bassist, and the bassist is the most important part of the band anyway.
So you have to kill the bassist so you can become the bassist.
That's fine. No one likes murder face anyways.
But then your logic goes out the window because now your life isn't any more productive than that person's life could have been because you're essentially taking on the same role.
I would have to deem that person a lesser human being than I. And of course I would do that because I do that to everyone.
Okay.
So
you are insane. You are a psychopath.
I might be. So religion would stop me, but nothing else would. If the situation actually arose, I have no idea what I would take.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, who knows what I would do either.
Knowing me, I am a very weak individual, and I would end up killing the person, being like, well, I mean, God can forgive me, right?
I don't know. That's a whole nother question.
Yes, it is. That's another episode. Okay, because we're running out of time here, I think we have 20 minutes left on this microphone.
Let's see. We've got 16 minutes.
Okay.
I think.
We pretty much cleared that part up. We could go into the details of what you would need for certain amoral acts rather. We don't need to. Empathy. If you were able to take a pill that would dramatically increase your empathy, or take another pill, like Morpheus has 2 pills in front of you, to dramatically decrease your empathy, would you take one, and which one, if either?
I don't really understand the benefits of either of those.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I feel like I've got a good amount right now. So
you don't see the benefit of either?
Nah.
Now here's the question. Would it be morally correct to take the pill that increases your empathy so you feel for people more and help them out more and stuff and do other more morally correct acts? Is taking the pill that increases your empathy even more morally correct? Right now you're doing a podcast instead of helping people out in Africa or whatever. If you took the pill, you would be helping people out in Africa.
True.
So is it morally correct to take the empathy pill instead?
I guess. If helping people is more morally correct.
I mean, I think that's what we've established by empathy, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah.
So then what you've just said is that you would not do it?
I would still not take the pill.
Really?
Yeah.
So you are a little bit amoral in that area.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. To a certain extent, I'm relieving myself of certain desires that I have now.
Right.
Because by choosing to take the pill that's going to increase my empathy, I am essentially giving up some of my own desires that I have right now and kind of like taking up other desires that aren't necessarily my own.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like relieving myself of my own will.
There's some religious stuff we could talk about there, but that's another episode.
But I mean, just this hypothetical pill situation.
Right.
Yeah, so like so I wouldn't get to do the things that I want to do because then I would want to do other things and like so.
Okay, we can't get into the religion thing. Then this situation is just like becoming a Christian or something like that. And in Christianity, you are taught to do these things that Christianity say is correct, and you are taught to change your desires. And that these other desires, like doing this podcast instead of helping someone out in Africa or something, could technically be wrong. And you are taught to change those desires, right? So is that not the same as the pill scenario?
Similar. Very similar, yeah.
Okay, so...
Not 100% the same, though.
So, are you saying that... Would you agree that most people would also not take the pill? Because they want to keep their desires?
Well, I don't know. I feel like if you choose the pill, then you already want to do those things. See what I'm saying?
Sort of.
But I don't know. There's this whole idea of like will, like I want to have a successful YouTube channel,
Right.
But I don't have one right now. Does
Right.
that mean that I really deep down don't want one?
No. I mean, maybe.
You see what I'm saying?
How hard have you tried? You haven't exactly tried that hard, though.
I mean, I've been putting out a review like every day for like the past 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Seriously.
That's being results oriented.
Yeah, you're right. That is, yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, that raises up the whole other question of like action versus desires, I guess.
Okay, so...
Which is like a whole other thing. You know what I mean?
So
like,
you're amoral if you want to do something that is good, but don't act on it then? Is that fair?
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on if you're gonna judge your morality by your motivation or your actual actions. You see what I'm saying?
That's a thing that happens in religion all the time. Is people, it's kind of this funny thing where people are like, I want to help that person, but I'm not going to because I want to do something else better. So I'm going to pray that thing works out for that person. And that makes them feel better and makes them feel morally correct because they're praying for something, but they're not actually physically doing anything.
But then maybe...
They're wanting to do something, basically.
So, you're saying that, like, whatever person feels is most morally right is what they actually do instead?
I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm just saying that
like actions dictate a person's...
morality?
Yeah.
Yes, a person is moral judged on their actions, not on how they feel.
Well, by other humans, but I'm talking about, like, the absolute morality...
Yeah, I think it would be, right?
That then you should take into account their intentions?
You should not take into account their intentions.
Oh, just their actions.
Because their intentions don't mean anything.
Okay.
Assuming that in this religious context there is no God and those prayers aren't actually doing anything.
But you're saying if they are, then what? If they are doing something, then... Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I got you. I think. Actually, not really. I'm totally confused. But anyway, do you have any other points?
We didn't clear that up, I don't think.
Okay, explain yourself.
Basically, I want to make this objective statement that you are amoral if you do not take the pill, but you are okay with being amoral because you are okay with being selfish. It's the same scenario with the train and the lever, how some people are okay with not pulling the lever because they did not directly kill anyone.
Okay. All right. Fine.
So I'm saying you're immoral. Are you okay with that?
I'm immoral?
Amoral. Amoral. I think the proper term is amoral. Immoral.
That means without
Yes.
neither right or wrong.
Amoral?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what amoral means.
Okay, but what I'm saying is...
Like neither good nor bad. Like a hammer is neither good nor bad.
Okay, then let's use immoral.
Immoral?
Immoral, not moral.
Like asexual means like neither male nor female.
Asexual means not sexual.
Yeah, but I'm talking in a biological sense, like that means that it's not male or female. Like
Okay.
a rock is asexual, but and in the same way amoral means like neither right nor wrong.
Okay. You're arguing semantics here, but...
Well, I'm just trying to get a grasp on like what you're saying.
I'm saying that the decision to not take the pill that would give you more empathy so you would help more people out later is
neither right nor wrong?
Is not a morally correct thing to do. It is immoral.
Oh, okay. Why?
Because you're being selfish because you're not helping people out by doing
But
that.
is being selfish wrong?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to make the objective statement. I compared it to the trolley problem again. It's the same situation where the person is selfish so they don't pull the lever to kill the one person because they don't want to feel bad or whatever.
Ah, okay. All right, next point.
So are you immoral for not taking that pill? Just say yes, you are.
I don't think it's wrong to not take the pill. I think it's okay.
So then you don't think it's wrong for people not to follow religions if they don't want to change the way that they act? You think that's totally fine?
Yeah, that's why we have free will.
Okay. And
Like
so
then
they shouldn't go to hell, right? Am I wrong here?
No, yeah, they should go to hell.
They should go to hell. Then
yeah, why not?
Then it is immoral. It is immoral for them to do that.
Well,
because
I mean, if you're operating on the assumption that like
because
there is a God,
religion shows us that.
If there is a God, then there's like an absolute morality, and it's exactly what that deity deems it to be.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no that whatever concepts we've come up with are just arbitrary and abstract. That deity that created us is the authority on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if Christianity is the one true religion, which it is, then yeah, it's anything contrary to what that deity has laid out is immoral. Yeah.
So it would be immoral.
Immoral.
Just like the Morpheus pill. Actually, not really, but it would be immoral to not take the pill. That would give you increased empathy.
No, it would be immoral to take it.
No, because if you're not taking it, they can't even see the bar, so trying to bite that bar doesn't do anything.
I'm just...
He was like spot on though. So if you want to picture where our bar would be, our volume bar or whatever, it would have been right in his mouth.
You're wasting precious time.
I am, dude. Listen, so it would be immoral because God says that you should do these moral acts and stuff. So increased empathy is basically, right?
Well, the Bible talks about God judging your heart as well as your actions. So to God, doing the right thing for the wrong reason is the same thing as doing the wrong thing.
Whoa.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, maybe that's a whole nother episode then.
Yeah, but yeah, because we don't have the ability to see like your intention or whatever, then like you can't judge that. You can't judge that from one human to another. But I mean, like a God that could see that obviously would judge both of the, like your actions and your intentions. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, so I guess there's really no definitive answer there. I want to say, and I will say, that not taking the empathy, the pill that would increase your empathy, would technically be immoral, but I would also not take it. And I might, because I'm a psychopath apparently, I might go as far as taking the pill that reduces all empathy from myself.
If you think it's immoral, you obviously think that's more moral.
No, I think it's, no, taking the pill that gives you more empathy is more moral. I'm saying I would take the other pill that decreases empathy.
Why? Why would you do that?
I'm saying I might because...
Why might you? Explain yourself.
Could be a little hedonistic. And if you have a response to this pill question, put it in the comments below.
Also, you can download an audio-only version of this.
You can't. We don't have SoundCloud anymore, remember?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'll put a link to a website where you can enter the URL to this YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
And put it in there. Although you wouldn't need it right now because you've just listened to the entire episode on YouTube.
One of these days, I'm gonna put a paper here for our intro and outro because we always forget something.
Just put an annotation at the beginning of the video.
We probably should do that. One last question: do morals change over time? If they are objective, like from a god, then no, they do not. But if they are biological or teaching, then they do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's it.
All right.
Hey. Well.
You can check out our Facebook.
Yes,
page.
Facebook.com/Tcopodcast, and you can like it, and that's where we're going to just like. If you don't want to subscribe to the YouTube channel or whatever, I guess you can just go there and...
It's morally... Go there. It's the right thing to do.
It's morally correct to
do the right thing.
Go like our Facebook page.
Go to that Facebook page
and share it, because we feel awkward sharing it to our friends because we don't want to annoy them. So share it and share this video and like this video and like us. And
or don't.
SoundCloud doesn't exist anymore, as he said. I mean, it's still there, but...
Yeah, some of our old episodes are there.
Josiah's poor and doesn't want to pay the money for...
Hey, you're making all that sweet, sweet dough.
I literally made that. I didn't, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're just so cheap we don't want to pay for it. Like, if you know of any free, like, hosting services, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But the problem is, we need, 85 megabytes a week? So, we need, 400 a month. I think we have like 2.
We got time.
Oh, okay. Let's just
go. What's our topic next week?
That's up to you. I picked this topic. We rotate topics every week.
I always pick the fun ones.
He picks like the sciencey ones, and I'm trying to like. The reason I picked morals this time is there are set topics that we need to talk about, and this is one of them. And so, I mean, next topic you could probably do something fun like. I don't know. What do you got on your list? I've been writing...
Time travel.
Part 2. The Beckoning or something.
Man, that was the best episode we've ever done.
Wow, dude. Saying that on air. No, I liked this episode. I thought this episode was pretty good. I've wrote down some topics and stuff over time, but you have all the other topics. What topic do you want to do?
I don't know. We'll figure out by next week.
How about free will? That's a good one.
Ooh, we kind of talked about that tonight.
Nature versus nurture?
Ooh.
Free will?
Okay, I think that'll do it for us for this week. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I didn't do this last week because Josiah cut it off. I'm supposed to do this every week, though.
You did do it. I just cut it off before.
He just cut it off. And on the witchcraft episode, I was doing this like spell stuff, and you also cut that off, and I was so disappointed.
Well, get it in while you can.
I am, dude. Just like...
Yeah, get it all in there.
Yes!
If you're just listening to this, you're missing out.
You are missing out. I should have like mooned the camera or something.
Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time.
Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is supposed to happen at the beginning of the show.